All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Last month, there was plenty of intensity on the gridiron in college football during the college football playoff in the pursuit to crown a national champion. And the intensity is ratcheting up right now as we speak to another level on the hardwood with March Madness right around the corner. But there was also intensity today in Tennessee, where a federal judge there granted a preliminary injunction which prohibits the NCAA from punishing athletes or boosters for negotiating NILs during the recruiting process or when they are in the transfer portal. Now, I'm sure that the NCAA will look to appeal this, but this is a huge blow to their organization as the courts have basically said, not so fast in regards to their power. You think about the cases of both the University of Virginia and University of Tennessee against the NCAA. And with that said, are you really going to sit here and tell me that there have not been other schools that have been trying to get kids with NILs? And let's not even get started before that for years with cash deals, car deals, you name it. Okay, this has been going around the block for a very long time now. And I'm not the only one who's saying this. I'm sure I know that there are others who are saying this and who have said it before. You know, you think about the NCAA, and over the years, they've been plagued by selective enforcement. And it's the case once again. And are you really going to tell me that some of these kids are going to some of these schools to play football just because of the academics? I don't think so. And a lot of people ain't buying that either. Now, you think about the words of former Alabama head football coach Nick Saban, and he hit it right on the head. Just to paraphrase, basically, when he said the term student athlete doesn't exist anymore, and it has not existed for quite some time. And people, need to stop being naive about this thing. And whatever grip that the NCAA has on things, it's rapidly losing it. You think about what has just happened recently. Dartmouth is looking to unionize. You think about the NILs and the power behind those NILs, the transfer portal, and how it has changed the landscape of college football. Mega conferences. I talked about this before. Basically, you got schools that are in the transfer portal moving from one conference to another. And the mega conferences, I've said it before, and I will continue to say it, they're only going to get bigger. And in doing so, it's just going to widen the gap even more between the haves and the have nots in the world of college football. And honestly, collegiate athletics for a whole on that matter. Because if you're not a big boy at the big table making big bucks as a football program, it's going to be very hard going forward. And it's one of those where the NCAA they've skated by for decades, okay, but their day of reckoning is coming, and it ain't going to be pretty. I've said this before. I will continue to say this. College football needs themselves a commissioner, and it's going to be easier said than done. They also need revenue sharing, okay? And it won't be long before you see these kids that are playing football. You see these kids that are playing basketball. They're going to be signing pro style contracts, okay? Especially from the football standpoint. You think about it, where we're at the point now where these young people they're getting money, and in some cases they're probably going to be signing contracts soon. And schools like SMU that got persecuted, about 40 years ago by the NCAA, it looks like they were ahead of the curve on things. So things are changing in collegiate athletics. The landscape as a whole is changing, and this is the time where if you're the NCAA, you need leadership to be at the forefront. But clearly, the NCAA does not have any leadership. And like I said, people need to stop focusing on the notion of things going back to the way that they used to be. That's no longer the case. The genie is out of the bottle and you cannot put it back in. And if the decision makers don't, accept that and look to change with it, things are only going to get worse. So you look at the NCAA again, this is a huge blow. I think they will appeal it. But I think what needs to happen, okay, because you can clearly see that there's nobody really in charge there. The way that the schools are switching conferences, transfer portals, coaching changes, whatever. Okay, there's nobody in charge of things, and I think somebody or some bodies, okay, if you will, have to get together and work on setting some things in place that are going to be for the betterment of everybody involved. And it's easier said than done because typically school presidents, okay, they're going to worry about what's in the best interest of their respective school. Conference commissioners are going to worry about what's in the best interest of their conferences. And of course, in these days, conference commissioners, if you can't be, a male or female that's going to sit down and be able to negotiate that big television deal for your respective conference, you know what? You're not going to last that long at your current position for that matter. So it's going to be, people having to put their egos aside and doing what's in the best interest for everybody involved. Easier said than done. I don't know where and when the change is going to come and how the change is going to be, but the bottom line is changes have to come for the NCAA. This is big right here because basically the courts, have questioned your power. Okay. And, there have been things that have been questionable by the NCAA for numerous years now. So I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. And this thing is going to continue to heat up, if you will. Just trying to use as many metaphors as I can. But nonetheless, a big ruling out of the state of Tennessee today, and let's see how the NCAA responds to this. Like I said, things are changing. The landscape of collegiate athletics will never be the same. The college football playoff is here to stay. It's going to continue to expand. It's taking away, and it will continue to take away and eat away even more to the bowl game traditions uh, that people have been accustomed to for generations. All right. The NILs are changing things. The transfer portal, excuse me, has changed things as well. And of course, the ever changing aspect of conference realignment. This is the reality that we're in right now. And let's see if somebody will step to the forefront and be a leader or leaders that college football and the NCAA need. Let's just wait and see. But at the end of the day, only time will tell. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.